So last night I filmed a basketball game and I want to take you along and show you how it all goes down. Cue the intro. Just kidding. There's no intro. Hey folks, I'm Colin. I'm a content creator from Ontario, Canada, and in this video, I'm going to show you a little bit of what I do for the Canadian Elite Basketball League. Last night, I headed to Niagara to film a basketball game, specifically shooting in-game deliverables for social media use. Now, just a pre-ramble before I get into this, shooting for social media is very different than simply going out to film a highlight video or a mixtape. When it comes to in-game social media content, pace trumps quality. On social media, the quality of photography or video really takes a backseat to actually getting content out fast enough, which is why you see a lot of pro teams still posting Instagram stories taking on iPhone cameras. Now, I'm not saying that quality doesn't matter, but specifically for in-game content, it's not as important. Frankly, I actually really like this challenge, and I'm always asking myself, what is the highest quality I can deliver at the fastest pace? From working in the CEBL, some games in the CFL, and alongside some other great content creators, I've learned a couple tips and tricks to pumping out high quality content in near real time. First things first, I gotta pack my gear before I leave. I'll actually go ahead and build out my camera rig at home so that it's ready to go when I arrive at the venue. That way I can start filming right away. I'm sure I'll make a more detailed video on the gear I regularly use for filming sports, but frankly, any camera setup will work as long as you are familiar with it and it's got the features you need. Today, I've got my A7 IV in a cage with a monitor to see what I'm filming and a mic to grab high quality natural sounds from the venue. All the shoe squeaks, bouncing balls, and crowd atmosphere really add to the finished product. I also always take two camera bodies along just in case one goes down, and I try to bring a couple different lenses so that I've got some options. In my case, a 24-70 and a 70-200 are the only lenses I typically use in a game, and they give me all the focal range I need to cover a basketball game. But the most important part for delivering content in-game is being able to actually send your photo or video content in a timely fashion. If you're working with a remote editor, you can simply upload your raw footage and be done with it. But in my case, as a solo content creator, I need to be able to send off a finished product to the social team. So let's prep my laptop and get my Premiere file ready to go. So I actually have my own organized workspace built out in Premiere to help with in-game exports just so I can see everything on one page. Let's create a new sequence for social cuts. I prefer a 4x5 as it actually covers the most real estate when you're scrolling on Instagram. And let's drop some adjustment layers into it. I filmed in this venue before, so I have a rough idea of what the color grade is gonna look like, but let's drop some footage from the last game that I was there, just so that I know exactly what it's gonna be. My first adjustment layer will usually be a conversion LUT to bring back some of the contrast and saturation to my log footage, or recently when I was filming on my A7 III, my HLG footage. But I recently bought a LUT pack from Mark Bone, and I'm really liking how it turns out in this venue. My next adjustment layer is just for curves and any minor color adjustments that I'll want. And finally, this third one, I'll just add a finishing LUT or any final color processing before I export. If the client has any watermarks that are needed for the clips, I'll add those over top as well. I'll also prep my export settings. In the export window, I'll add a gamma compensation LUT downloaded from the Sony website. This just helps with consistency when viewing on multiple different devices. I'll also make sure I have a high quality two-step export render setup. These are the settings I like to use. So I'm definitely not a pro when it comes to coloring or export settings. Honestly, I've just found that these are the settings that work for my workflow and produce an image that I'm really happy with. All right, now that all the preparations are done, we can head to the venue. When I get to the venue, I'll find a spot to get my laptop station set up. I'll drop my stuff off and pull out my laptop before going to film some of the warm-ups. Part of the reason I like to film warm-ups is so that I can take the footage back to Premiere and test out any final color grading before the game, but it's also nice to just bank some of this footage for the teams. I'll then check in with the social team and let them know to look for some stuff throughout the game, and then we're ready for the game to start. Also, I don't know how you watch your YouTube videos, but do me a favor and watch this part on your TV if you aren't already. Cue cinematic B-roll.
I don't want just anybody. Can you treat me like somebody? I don't want just anybody. I don't want just anybody. Let me
filming the game and a big play happens, I'll cut to the recording after the play dies down. Then I'll quickly point the camera up and snap a short frame of the video board or the ceiling or the backboard or whatever, just so that I know I can come back to that clip when I'm editing. Once I know I have a shot that's worth posting on social, I'm gonna wait for the next time out to head back to my laptop. When I get to my laptop, I open up my card and scroll through the thumbnails, knowing which files I need to download because I've already kind of marked them in camera by capturing those frames of the video board. So I'll drag these files onto my desktop, eject the card, and place it back in my camera while I import the footage into Premiere. I've just found this to be the fastest workflow as I don't want to miss any of the action on the court if I can help it. On that note, as a solo shooter, you will miss some of the game. It sucks, but at the end of the day, you can only do so much. Having 2 videographers on the court would be ideal, as one could go back to cut some social content while the other continues to film the game. But in my case, I just try to be as efficient as possible so that I only miss a couple possessions. In Premiere, I'm gonna scrub through and find the play I'm looking for, drop it onto the timeline, resize it, and make any slow-mo adjustments that I wanna make. I'll set my in and out points and export with the settings that I've already set up. Then I just need to upload it to the social team and let them know it's there before I head back to the court. I've talked about this part before, but one of the biggest tips I have to filming sports is to move around. Especially when I'm the only video creator shooting for the league, I typically move to a new location as soon as I know that I've got a decent clip in one spot. I'm often sitting on the corners of the court, but I love to stand behind the first couple rows of courtside seats as it gives some foreground to shoot through. I'll also move up to the top of the stands and shoot down onto the court, giving it a totally different feel. My goal is to get a couple video clips per team, per half, and also shoot all of the end of game celebrations. I want to make sure I'm uploading clips from different perspectives all around the venue so that it doesn't look like the content's just coming from the same camera position. Once the game is over, I make sure to back up all my footage before heading back home, where I'll upload all of the raw footage to Dropbox for the league to use at a later date. And that is how I film and deliver video highlights as a solo shooter in basically real time. If you've learned something from this video, please consider giving it a thumbs up and subscribing, as it does really help this channel. I'll be posting a lot more during the off season with some plans to bring on more creatives, discuss the ever-changing social media landscape, gear recommendation videos, tutorials, and more. But that's all for this one. I'll catch you in the next.